Hello everyone in our Varsity College community, and we have come to the end of term 2, the end of our first semester, and what a semester it has been. Our executive team has been talking about the semester that was, and it certainly was, wasn't it? And it's one of those times, I think, when we look back, for people who have been in education for a long time, we've never seen anything like this, and I'm not really sure we will again. But what has been really clear and evident to me throughout all of this is that this is a tremendous community. This is a community that is so supportive of each other, and most importantly, we prioritise the education of our children as incredibly important. So thank you to everybody for all of the work that you have done in the last 10 weeks to ensure that in our at-home learning, students and your children were as settled as they could be. It was difficult, and at times we were really challenged, but we worked through them. Thank you for then making sure that the transition back into school, which has seen different processes and different routines, particularly on our primary campus, has been so smooth, and the students and teachers have settled back into this classroom life exceptionally well. And I believe that we are finishing the semester in a really, really good position. A lot of people are starting to think what's next, and we're certainly starting to ask those questions as well. Coming into the final part of term 2 and finishing off term 2, we have been meeting and talking about what does term 3 in our new semester look like, and we are still waiting to see what types of guidelines come out from the department, because as you know, it is our absolute responsibility to make sure that we are following those. So we're waiting to see what comes through from the department, but I can assure everyone in our community that we will communicate as soon as we have any information that you need to know. But at this point, we're saying, heading into term 3, we're going to keep our rules and our routines and our procedures as they are now. So for primary campus, you will still be using your designated gates. And can I thank parents for being so understanding and working with us. I have seen the change in students in terms of how they are getting themselves to class and developing a little bit of that independence and resilience, which is a lovely thing to see in our primary school children. But thank you to mums and dads and grandparents and older brothers and sisters who might have been dropping people off or picking people up for doing as we've asked you to do. And we're going to ask you to continue to do that as we move into next term, and we'll let you know if at any time things change. We are also looking at what is returning next term. So school sport is one of those things that's returning, but there are going to be some very strict guidelines around that, and we'll communicate that to you at the start of term 3. So we'll get to see a bit of sport back up and running. We still are unable to hold any big events on school side at this stage. So things like assemblies will still remain not happening and will remain virtual. We are also looking at what we'll do for our cultural week and running a bit of an online model around that, and we'll communicate with that with you as well. But we're really having to make some adjustments, but we're getting very good at that now, and we're, I think, growing into looking at different ways of doing things which are giving us some really great results. So it's great to see that we are still trying to keep all of our great things happening that really are about a positive school culture, because they are important in schools, they are important to students, and they are important to staff. So we'll continue to communicate with you. We are finishing the term by making sure that we finalise all of our assessment results, and we will have your report cards out to you in the first 3 weeks of term 3. So that will mean that you may get your report cards a little bit later than normal, but you know, that's to be expected given what we've taken on board this term. So finally, I would like to say that moving into next semester, we are looking at making sure that whilst we continue to follow all the guidelines, we also work back into what will be our new normal, I guess, in terms of Varsity College, and try and make sure that we get back into that real swing of things very early on in the term, particularly for our senior students and our Year 12s who are heading into a semester that's going to finish with external exams for the first time in Queensland education. So that's a very big deal for our senior students, and I know they're preparing with their teachers very well. So lots happening next term. We've also got, as you would know, our big events coming up for the end of the year. Now, we have already started having conversations about them in terms of running them as they normally would, but also contingency plans. And I know that everyone is really watching that space. I certainly am, as are our senior school leadership team, particularly in terms of our Year 12 events. But we've also got things like our normal awards night, our Year 6 graduation as well. So there's big events on the horizon coming up in semester 2, and I can assure you that we are making sure that we are well underway with planning for those events as normal, but also contingency planning, and we'll communicate with you as soon as we've got any information. So finally, I hope that you all have a very safe holiday. With restrictions easing, it means that we can get out about and travel around our great state. I'm certainly heading up to see my family and my parents for the first time since Christmas, so I'm really looking forward to seeing them, and I hope you get the chance to spend it with loved ones or grandparents who may not have seen grandchildren for a fair while. So enjoy that time, enjoy the beautiful weather we've got at the moment, and stay safe. And I look forward to seeing you all when we come back for the first day of term 3. Thank you, everyone.